Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host Paul James. Today I'm joined by Damo Camilleri, Matto Phillips. Damo, it looks more awkward than what it really is. He's just trying to obscure his sister. And now he's just rocking some real cool poses.
Oh shit.
So with the very formal, very important patchies out of the way for the second time, we're now going slightly less official, slightly less glamorous, and slightly less important because the patchies are, the most significant awards in the gaming industry. The inaugural.
Next year, people are going to be looking at the patchies. It's like the golden raspberries of gaming.
So we're shifting focus a little bit, and we're still talking about the best games of of a period, but we're talking about the last 10 years. The decade of 2010 to 2019. Anyone who says a decade is the last decade is some other period of time needs to fuck off.
Get out.
You're not welcome.
Get out.
We'll sacrifice the probably however many hits this lost. I don't care. Fuck you. Two. Yeah.
One.
It's actually King Kong Long Dong Schlong, who's now no longer a patron of Player 2 thanks to that.
No.
He probably stopped being a patron months ago, I don't know. Anyway, so we're talking about our top 10 games from the last decade, and we'll just kind of rotate them through, so 10, 10, 10, and then 9, 9, 9, etc., etc., until we work our way towards each person's number one game of the decade.
10.
Damo, we'll start with you, and we'll just work our way as the screen goes, like the recording goes, from left to right. So that's Damo, Matto, me.
It
probably looks different on your respective ends, but this is the end that goes up to the internet. So
start off with a ridiculously strong game.
Number 10. Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem Fate.
Oh shit! Okay, right.
Yeah. Now
tell us about
tough. Absolutely tough. I'm not even going to discuss why I put what I put where. I should have just done what I normally done and be like, none of these have a ranking. They're all the number one game. Eat a bag of dicks. But I will, because for sanity's sake. I really enjoyed Fates. That was the one with 3 different storylines. Different, completely different things. And if you completed each one, your sword actually got better, and it was really cool.
And you also subsequently lost 400 hours of your life in the process.
I did. Perfecting my children.
And that was just in one game for you.
Perfecting everything about that game. Especially when, open castles, go visit, go get a skill, jump online, go to a forum, find out who's got what skills, how to do the best, find the best stats. What did I need the best stats for? Pride. Nothing else. They did not matter because it's a Fire Emblem game, and 99.9% of the time, your characters are OP enough already.
Yeah.
But, they're not OP enough to take on a random stranger who decides to walk into your castle and kill everybody. So you need to prove a point. And I did. For 50 billion hours. Worth it. Number 10.
Matto, what's your number 10, mate? This is not the first, nor will it be the last time that you've heard of Fire Emblem throughout the course of this top 10. From Damo specifically.
Fuck off.
So my 10 to 6 was about 15 games I had to try and squash in, so it was difficult, but my number 10 is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Because it was a big improvement from 3, from character-wise, to sailing on your ship, which was pretty much the best thing.
It is awesome.
Who would thought going around to sea shanties was more entertaining than the game itself?
The sea shanties were pretty great too.
And they're just having full-on battles with other ships, taking on was it the Spanish and was it the Brits?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't the Brits.
Spanish are definitely one of them.
Maybe it was the Brits.
But it would be the Brits, yeah. With that era and everything that was going on in that. Yeah, it'd be the Brits. And the Spaniards.
And the Spaniards. Fun times, that was. This is that whole open world thing too. It was great.
And the HD turtles. That was the first thing
my friend ever... It was important.
Yeah, my friend, that was the first thing he screenshotted with the new PlayStation controller, was a HD turtle. Click the share button, uploaded the thing.
I definitely uploaded something as well. And
Was it a whale?
Black Flag was the first game I played on my PS4, or maybe it was Resogun. No, it was Black Flag, and same idea. I was taking screenshots left, right, and centre. I'm like, oh, this gimmicky new feature with this very pretty new game. Awesome.
Photo mode. What a
I
thing!
took some photos, then I went and played Resogun, and then I went back to Black Flag because Black Flag is incredible.
It is
very
good choice,
Really
man. Good
solid
choice.
Matt.
Not so much outside of the pirate thing with the whole. What's it called? I forgot what it's called.
Being on the
Abstergo?
land.
Abstergo?
Yeah,
not
right.
the land part. Abstergo. That's just we'll forget
modern
about that
day
part.
stuff.
the boring modern day first person view where you
Oh,
do absolutely nothing.
It's the
Except
worst
listen
part
to
of
something.
Assassin's Creed, and they
Oh,
are
it's terrible.
they are reducing the amount that it's there, but they still
Yeah.
haven't totally wiped it out. Just say, yeah, who cares? We don't care about Abstergo. Just here's a cool
Maybe
setting.
they'll
Go. be
Maybe
an
they'll do it
assassin.
next. Maybe they'll do it next on Thor Ragnarok.
So for me, and my number 10, I picked The Walking Dead season 1 because I mean,
TV
let's
show, one with Ranger Rick.
Yeah. The Telltale's Walking
Rick.
Dead. So
phoned your wife.
Coral.
Coral.
So from like, if you want to talk about the best games and mechanics and all that sort of thing, Telltale games don't even come close. But it's kind of the storytelling. Well, I mean, like, let's be real. Like, what they're trying to and hell, the games are super buggy as well. But no game is, except for maybe one towards the very top of this list, has affected me more in the feels than the first
the old
season of The Walking
Tearies.
Dead.
The old Teary.
Clem, and look, it was continued through season 2, 3, and then the final season that finished up in 2019. Clem just has a way with the heart. So I think by now the game came out like 2011, 2012. I can probably spoil a little bit about the ending.
Don't say Carl dies.
Do either Carl's not in it or Coral's not in it.
Coral.
Coral.
Lee dies at the end there after being bitten, and that's when Clem's got to be sent on her way, and that's a very emotional
Not
moment.
Lee.
It was a little bit hard on the old feelings. So that was enough on its own to carry the game, and well, I mean, it was a very good game the first 4 episodes up to that point, but then that was kind of the sealer at the end of the final episode of that season, and I always think back on it now. So that's my number 10 choice, Damo. What do you got at number 9?
Just the lighting.
Fire.
Number 9.
There are
Which-
8 to 9 Fire Emblem releases in the last decade, so we can
Don't
almost fill the whole list up.
understand why Google's doing this to me.
There's
but it's okay.
Heroes on the mobile.
So-
that could be next. Echoes.
Number
You've got Fire Emblem Warriors. All 3 versions of Fates.
You've got,
Awakening. 3 houses.
the Fire Emblem that burnt Paul's house down because he kept going. Yeah, that was a good one.
There was a port of Warriors onto the Switch as well.
Okay, so there's Hollow Knight, number 9,
Oh, nice.
which was a fantastic game. And it's one of the few games that when I played, I went, I want to start this again. And it doesn't very oftenly happen that, I finish it and I'm like, oof, let's play that again. But once I did, I was like, could I do it better now? And there's multiple endings, so that's another killer. And do I do a speed run? Do I do less? Do I do the 100% speed run? Do I don't know. The art, the music, the characters, the combat, the controls, everything about that game definitely deserves to be in the top 10. Definitely within the top 100 games of all time in my book.
Yep.
I'm not saying that, again, this is a very subjective list. Like, I'm
That's
objectively
what all this stuff is. No, I'm not going to argue with you. And Hollow Knight's
being subjugate to my will. But I'll definitely chuck up Hollow Knight in number 9. Over to you, Matto.
Number 9 for me, South Park, The Fractured But Whole. How do you...
that's the
improve-
second one. Yeah.
That's the second one. So how do you go even sillier than Stick of Truth? Go more sillier. And it was... Oh, it was great. It also works if you watch a TV show as well, because there's going to be some things in there you just go...
What?
I don't
if you
get
don't
it.
watch it, yeah.
Because I'm just there just laughing at half the stuff because I remember it from the TV show. And you just go, what the hell, man? You just gotta and the whole skin color thing as well.
Oh, the difficulty of the game.
Yeah, the difficulty of the game. It's just those small things you just go, this is brilliant. It's just stupid and it better than any Marvel superhero game. So far.
What Marvel games have we had? Oh, Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. I forgot about Spider-Man. Beats that. Nah, it's Sony.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you got it out there. Nicely done. Yeah, real solid choice. What made you pick that one then over the Stick of Truth? Because I mean, like if I personally had to choose, I'd pick Stick of Truth. But I think of things like Canada, like the trip to Canada and all that sort of stuff.
That too, yeah.
And almost the benefits of being Australian, the censored version where we get like the crying koala and the blow by blow description of what happened.
I think it's the same in Fresh and Butthole when you go to Canada.
By the way,
when you go to Canada and the wall's there.
Yeah. And that guy's just yelling at you.
And your whole superpower is just farts.
Yeah, okay, you're starting to win me over.
It's
I
just
can see why.
And the combat system was much greatly improved.
And the whole enemy, which was Mitch Connor. And everyone's just telling Cartman to stop doing it. He's like, I can't. It's like Cartman.
And then it goes on to Kyle.
Yeah, it goes
the
on
ultimate twist.
It just gets even more and more ridiculous. You just go, what the hell, man?
What were they thinking?
Cthulhu's there.
Cthulhu.
It's got everything.
PC Principal. You have to make him
PC
happy.
Principal. Yeah, and you choose your own gender and
then
sexual orientation.
And then
he
Luke
continues to ask questions about it.
And Luke Kim puts a bounty on your head. The City Walk. And Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman's there to explain
Morgan
things
Freeman's
when we need it.
So for me, speaking of games that are funny, my ninth game is a game that is also quite funny, Borderlands 2. Because it's just like, it's higher on your list.
Mine's higher.
Keen to see where that one lands.
Number one.
For me, it's just like Borderlands 3 is a better game these days, and I think that's the mantling and the co-op systems that they've kind of introduced, with the leveling and all, like mechanically it's kind of better, and that's just the nature of time and what it's done. But Borderlands 2 is funnier. I've got far more memories, like fun ones with that. Whether that was just pissing Jay off in particular by stealing his loot all the time. He'd see this great thing and I'd just run over and steal it, and then I realised it wasn't any good for me and I'd trash it or sell it rather than pass it over to him and all that. So because I was just the biggest troll playing that game. So Borderlands 3, as much as it's improved mechanically, it stopped me from playing that particular way, and that's what causes Borderlands 3 some problems, because I can't be an obnoxious dick, or less of one. No, Borderlands 2 is just tons of fun. It's still got probably the best waves, I guess, because there was multiple packs of DLC and everything. Like, it's an incredible experience. So hard to go wrong with that particular one. Damo, number 8.
Number 8, you say? It's number 12 on my list because Google keeps swapping the goddamn numbers. Number 8, and I know this is going to be higher on your list, Paul. I'm not sure about you, Matto, but it is The Last of Us. And it's up on my list.
It's lower for you, didn't you?
Mine's pretty. Last of Us for me is just in the bin. Ooh, fight me.
That's okay. Matto, you obviously didn't get up to the giraffe scene, which would have completely changed what you thought of this game.
I played it. Hey, wait! I just remembered something. The rabbit.
The rabbit.
It's okay. It's gone up.
Jojo Rabbit was in there too. And that was awesome.
the rabbit thing.
The rabbit and the arrow.
Yeah, the rabbit. Fantastic. But no, this game, Paul will probably talk about it in a lot more depth than me. So I'm just going to say what I need to say. As a person without children, I don't fully understand the tears that someone would appreciate from this game and the feelings. As a person, though, yes, I do appreciate what you know what I mean? It's an individualized journey that it's an individualized journey that we all take during that game, and it's fantastic. And I completely justified in whatever I did, and I will have to replay it before the next one comes out. I've got plenty of time now. Plenty of time.
It is actually an interesting one. Yeah, like you're right. I'll definitely talk about it more later on. But like you're speaking about me and how I'd react and blah 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 with kids or that sort of thing. Like I played The Last of Us obviously years before I had kids.
No, not even you. So not even you, but like others that I know that were like dads and things like that, and they're playing it, and they were just like straight up like, "I didn't cry." I'm like, "Man, never did I?" And like, "Nope." He was justified in what he did. And I was like, whoa, so much passion coming out of people. And if a game can be talked about that much, I'm going to put down the pointed weapons, okay? If a game can be talked about that much after the fact and with so much passion, definitely deserves a split. So it did. It made it to number 12.
It's also that
video people ignore the brief hiccup we had there for half a second.
It's also that sort of buddy system that sort of they brought in as well, where you and Ali sort of work together.
Yeah,
it works so well. Like I will agree on that. Like, I thought that was great. Like
it was a huge improvement from something like BioShock Infinite, where it was like, oh, you're running low on health. Here's 1,000 things of health. It's like you're taking out the edge of this game.
Yeah, have a gun.
Completely.
Yeah. Then I found out of nowhere. Here's a gun. Like, where the hell did you find that?
All the ammo in the world.
And the crazy thing being that those games came out 2 months apart from each other, so you'd play BioShock and then Last of Us would come along a little bit later and you'd be like, oh. And it made BioShock look worse in comparison.
I mean, I played it.
What do you got, number 8?
I've got Dragon Age Inquisition.
Ooh, I like that one.
I didn't give that nearly enough time, but I really wanted to.
Yeah, I think after the second one where I was really disappointed, I was really hoping that they would make things better. And they did. I don't know what to say about it. It was actually fantastic. It's just they went back to that whole open world thing, but not copy and paste it to every single time you do it. Don't have the same cave, don't have this, don't have that. Yeah. And there was dragons. There were actual dragons.
Make a game amazing.
When you call a game Dragon Age, you'd hope there's dragons, and there are dragons.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And your range of characters as well are good as well, which is something Dragon Age 2 didn't really have.
Yeah.
Which I was quite happy about. I thought, this game is good.
You're selling me on going back to it, because I started in 2014 when it came out. I really enjoyed it in 2014 when it came out, and then I think Shadow of Mordor came out afterwards, and I was a bit more hyped for that. I guess the Lord of the Rings and all that sort of stuff, that I was, the love of that, and in the end that was my game of the year that particular year. But it meant that I kicked Dragon Age to the curb with the intent of coming back to it, and it never did. So I think you're going to force me to get back to it.
Back to an age where I'm going to stop myself there. I'm not making fun of BioWare.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no comment. Number 8 for me is Red Dead Redemption, the first one.
Wait. When did that come out?
2010.
Yeah, that's up on my list.
What a year of gaming. Jesus.
Yeah, 2010, God of War 3, you had Mass Effect 2, you had obviously Red Dead. There was one of those games I'll be talking about soon enough. But anyway, Red Dead Redemption, I mean, it's, in my opinion, still Rockstar's best game to this point. As it is, Red Dead gels with me more than GTA does. I don't mind GTA. I can appreciate how incredible they are. But like, Red Dead speaks to me more. And it's because like I'm a cowboy on the side. Yeah. And then, of course, like, Mexico is a little bit of a weaker spot when that whole segment just drags a little bit too long, but then it kind of gets right back on track, and the way it ends is really powerful, surprising and impactful and all that sort of stuff. And for me, makes it easily one of the top 10 games of the decade anyway.
Yeah, nothing's more enjoyable in that game when you finally get the achievement of killing a bear with a knife. Oh.
I don't think I ever did that.
It's like one of the hunter rank things you do.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like kill a bear with a knife. I thought, you got to be kidding me, right? It took me like nearly 4 hours to actually do it.
was like stab it and run, stab it and run.
Oh, yeah,
Goes back to
stab,
sleep,
run.
just cheese the shit out of it.
There you go, try and hide. You recover your health there. This bear comes and just mauls you to death, and that's the end of it.
Damo, number 7.
Number 7, Monster Hunter World.
Hey.
One of the few games that I've put that much time into anything.
That's on Fire Emblem.
Over 260 hours on a single game.
How much?
260.
260.
Wow.
Yeah. If you want to look at the other there's other profiles on there too that I've just
Sucks some
caught
time
up to.
into as well.
Yeah, well, I lent it to one of my friends, and he played the shit out of it. He played 180 hours before, like, in a month. I was like, oh god.
What?
But,
I can't even imagine putting that time
maybe
into anything.
180 hours in a month.
A game, full stop, let alone that much time in a single month. What's that?
How much
years.
How many hours?
6 hours a day.
Holidays.
Holy.
How many hours a day?
It's about 6 hours a day.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy for him. Just holidays.
Oh, for him,
It's on
right.
holidays. Yeah, he'd be up till like 3 a.m. Play it, wake up at 9 and keep going.
I wish I had that in me, but I don't play 180 hours in a month these days.
Oh. But,
Let alone 180 of one game.
Monster Hunter World did some amazingly great different things from previous Monster Hunters. Being an open world without loading into different sections was fantastic. Scout fly system enabling tracking of monsters without having paintballs, and unlimited use of a whetstone. God, combat was only improved over time with DLC. Like, everything about that game was phenomenal, and the community in that game is just something of note. Like, I can't thank people enough for not dying while I'm shit at the game sometimes. Yeah, I have off days. I'm really, really sorry to that guy who joined my mission just before we started recording, and I died on a one faint mission. Wasn't my fault. Okay, wasn't my fault. And if you used a voucher like I did, because you were like, let's get all the bonuses possible, I apologize. And if you want to look me up, I'm at Tacos Talks on Twitter. But that's besides the point.
Abuse the shit out of him.
Monster Hunter World.
Tell him to go to PAX as well, because 51-year-olds are.
Was it Kevin? Was his name Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin.
Definitely.
Kevin 07.
Probably was Kevin 07.
Right.
Definitely valuable game. If you haven't picked it up, it's still a full community. And
It's the gift that keeps on giving that game.
It is.
If you got Games Pass, it's on there.
It was one of those for me where, like, I'd had the Monster Hunter games. I kind of tried them in like little fits and starts, but never really got into them. Adored Monster Hunter World and thought, oh great, like this will be my opportunity now to go back to the others and try out the others, and I can't go back to those others. The improvements they've made with World and all that, and like they've released, was it Generations or whatever on the Switch after World, and I thought, okay, they might have brought some of the features across. No, it's old school Monster Hunter, and it doesn't click with me like World does. No. So he's hoping that every Monster Hunter continues that trend going forward.
Well, just hope the World Series stays to the World Series and the Generations
they could
stays
do
to
that too,
Generations.
Matto, what do you got next for number, 7?
7. Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That game that I was just hanging
Oh no,
shit.
that's fair enough. I don't care about that, but it was just I like 1 was okay. I hated 2 because they were in the same spot, and then 3 they completely changed it to a new location, and I thought, this is great. It's just different, and then the whole hook is a great feature. But yeah, like you said, the buddy system in that compared to The Last of Us is a bit shit. But I played that way before I played The Last of Us, so I thought it was the greatest thing ever when I played it.
Oh, I'm running low on ammo. Great, she's going to throw me a gun. It's a shotgun. Sweet.
Like, what's this crap? Like,
I
don't want this crap. But I think also too the music for when you have enemies around.
Oh, the sound design is amazing in that game.
Yeah, Sam, when it just finishes up, you get like this violin screech go woo, and you're done like, oh. That's intense. And
it is in sync with your heart, kind of going, ugh.
Yeah. Like, oh, I can just go roam around without getting shot at now. Find some dollary dues so I can buy some stuff. And then the ending was just weird, but I can live with that.
That's Bioshock for you. There's always a lighthouse.
And on the second one. There wasn't one.
Yeah,
there was
that's just
no
what
such.
that's what they say in it, though. That's all.
Oh, yeah, I was the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Ed Night Shyamalan.
My life is a lighthouse.
So for me, number 7, I mentioned it just before when I was talking about Red Dead and all the other awesome games that came out in 2010. Mass Effect 2.
That's up on my list too.
The suicide mission is like it just on its own. It just makes good. I'm curious to see how hype it.
Yes, 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 yes.
That suicide mission is
You're welcome.
intense.
Yeah, and the build up to it and everything, like, it's just incredible.
It is worth the 20 to 30 hours just
yeah.
to get to that point.
I think I've been thinking about it, and actually, like, Matto, before our recording, we were talking about some of the bits and pieces we were going to do for the YouTube channel coming up, and I had like a full playthrough series that I was planning on doing, and for the longest time, Mass Effect was going to be, like, the Mass Effect franchise was going to be that full playthrough. Now, I might still do that, but I think it's probably going to be second in my list, but I can't wait. Like,
So that's a lot. That's a lot of playing.
Yeah. That's a lot of
90 hours.
That's a lot of Saturdays or whatever day it ends up coming out sorted for the next 2 years.
I was going to say, you'll be there for 3 years. It'll take a whole year just to finish the whole game.
Yeah. They'll have to be like at least an hour each. But anyway, Mass Effect 2, like the whole, I mean,
and then Kaden comes along with a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah. Systems-wise, it's way better, and like mechanically it's better. Storytelling is perfect. The suicide mission is amazing. But I will leave the two of you to talk about that more a little later. Damo, whenever it comes up on your list. Damo, what's your number 6?
Well, it was No, Skyrim. Skyrim made it up there. Yay for all you Skyrim nerds.
You and your arrows in the knee. For me, it was an honourable mention.
That's okay. So
I just can't get into it yet. I've tried.
I mean,
did you try the Alexa version? Or
9 years.
What about the Samsung fridge?
What? Samsung fridge? What is
I'm sure there's going to be a Tumblr. There is going to be a Tumblr.
You can actually play Skyrim via Alexa.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a free app.
Oh, wow.
It was like everyone thought it was a piss take during one of their E3 conferences a few years back, and then it was actually legit. I'll have to send you. I'll send you the video.
All right.
Damo, go for it. It's your game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Skyrim, because that was the first game that I played in the Elder Scrolls series, because I never got around to opening up and playing Oblivion. So I had no idea what I was doing, and so somebody's like, "You should buy the guide." I'm like, "No, okay, I'll buy the guide." So I bought the guide, and then it was like recommended level 6, and I didn't know how to play, so I went into like a level 6 area and died. Then I got crushed by a giant, and then I saw a dragon and
those giants.
Had an anxiety attack when I saw the dragons, and then
I love when the giants get you with an uppercut though, and you go,
oh yeah, the club, you just go flying in the air. Look, what the hell just happened?
That was the other thing.
Why'd you go talk to the giant?
Like Goat Simulator.
I got crushed by this giant. So
yeah.
The hammer hit me and it squashed me into the map, and then I went. Toom! I was like, oh shit, that happened. And it was all that fantastic, all these amazing things that game made me feel. Awesome dungeons to explore, a variety of enemies, cool stories, awesome side missions. Never actually did the main story.
So the world is still being by Alduin.
I think I'm the same. I played 20 hours. I played 20 hours. I'm stuck with trying to attack some wizards. I don't think I've done the main story. I have no idea what I'm actually doing.
Apparently you can knock out like the main story in like 13 hours really easily.
Yeah, it's actually really short.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But no one does that.
No one
Everyone wants to go hunt dragons.
Wait, Paul did that.
I didn't like mainline it though. I didn't go golden pass to get to it, but it was one of those, I'm a level that's like high enough to deal with the campaign. All right, fine. I just like mainline the campaign from that point. So I kind of did what you guys are doing, going around, seeing the world, just interacting with it at my own pace, and then discovered that, hang on, I'm like high enough level to deal with the campaign. Boom, 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 done.
Yeah. Well, if anyone is picking up the game, I would suggest go high levels, become a mage, join the Imperial Army, wipe out the Stormcloaks, and then just have fun from there.
Yeah.
Like if I can make any suggestion, like because one, it's a fair hike to where the Imperials are, and I mean it's just always a good option to begin the game like that. So that's Skyrim made it to number 14.
14.
Yeah, it's how Google keeps changing my things. I don't actually remember what number these things
number
are.
6, that was.
6.
So, Matto, what do you got for number 6?
Batman Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight.
Yeah, I know. As much as I do like Arkham City, there's a small part in the story of Arkham Knight that just gave me a massive shock. I'm not going to say it because I feel like if you say that part of it, it ruins the whole game. I'm not going to say it.
George Clooney was playing Batman the entire time.
Yeah, he was.
Fuck.
He took
Sorry,
out Val
spoiled it.
Kilmer. Yeah, I think it was just. This is that part. Like, I'm not looking at the. I never used it. Didn't care less about it. Well, the only time I ever used is when you go capture people. But other than that, I never used it.
So you
the only time I ever used it was just calling in to knock enemies out of the way.
Yeah, okay.
And that was it. But yeah, like there was just that certain part of that the story in Arkham Knight where I just went, although what the hell?
And you're,
yeah,
I mean, you've got a Dark Knight poster in the back of the room there. You are a long time Batman fan, aren't you?
Sort of. I like Batman. He's pretty good. He's a nice guy. Don't know if the new films. I don't care about them. They're just rubbish.
The new films.
Batman versus Superman.
Oh right, okay, yeah, that stuff. The DCU.
Martha.
That's fair.
Battle of Martha.
So number 6 for me.
I'll fucking kill you, man. Nothing. Continue.
Number 6 for me is the best in its respective franchise, Uncharted 3: Drake's Deception.
Never played it.
People say Uncharted 2 is the best. No, Uncharted 2 just blows you away because it's the first time you've seen anything like that. And yeah, it absolutely smashes 1. Yeah. If you reverse the order of the release, Uncharted 2 and 3, you'd be saying the same, thing, but a bit about the other game. The reason Uncharted 3 is better is the storytelling is just infinitely better. Like Uncharted 2 and 1, in terms of story beats, it's the same shit. Like, okay, oh look, there's Elena. You know, they start to get together, and then for some reason they split up again at the end, and you kind of go through the same loop. And the arc of the story, and not to mention the whole Lazarevich fight at the end of the game, is horrendous. It's the worst part of the entire franchise. But Uncharted 3, it don't have any of those problems.
You just kill Scully.
And Mulder?
Yeah.
You don't actually know. You don't
kill Sully.
You don't actually kill him. He hallucinates and drinks some really weird water.
Yeah.
And he goes on a big acid trip for like 3 hours.
That, like, I know a lot of people, love the train scene from Uncharted 2, and it's pretty incredible.
It's good.
The boat thing, like when you're on the ship, and it's kind of being rocked and flipped all over by the ocean, like it's going to go down. But it's getting flipped and rocked all over the place, and you're supposed to be able to fight and survive in that thing that suddenly starts filling up with water, and you've got to like kind of keep afloat and hang off stuff and shoot people. Like, it's a gameplay masterclass. It's like, in terms of set pieces, I can't really think of many, if any, games that have really trumped it in that regard, since Uncharted 4 doesn't do that. Like, Uncharted 4 is a little bit more, because it leans into the open world thing, you get
driving around in a 4-wheel drive in Uncharted 4.
But you don't quite get the same amount of spectacle. It is the best form of like Hollywood popcorn flick, but with a really good story at the same time, and that's what all those Hollywood flicks don't have. That's number 6. Damo, number 5.
Number 5 is Don't Stop Believing. Oh shit, sorry, Journey.
Oh, Journey.
No, I love Journey. I think that everybody should go out and play it, as I've stated every time this game gets brought up. For the way it was described to me is, I'm like, what is it? As a game designer, to these people that were game designers, I'm like, what is Journey? And they're like, that's how you make a game. That's there's no instructions. That's just how it is. You move. You make the player learn how to play the game. And I'm like, oh. And they're like, yeah, man, it's work of art. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome. Because the first time I played it, I was so tired. I actually hallucinated that I was inside the game. I wasn't on drugs. Okay, I was just really, really tired. I was hitting the 36-hour point of being awake. And you start seeing things, and I was like, oh man, there's like a horse and it's being left in water. My mate's like, go to bed. You can't go to bed. I was like, why, man? Am I supposed to kill the horse? Oh shit, there's a dog. Yeah, but
I'm a
no,
little confused as
it,
to what that was, and I'm beginning to wonder if I'm not on the same stuff that you were right now.
it's a fantastic game. It's beautiful. The music's great. The scene where
No.
you lose, and when the go play it. Or
I'm
even
doing that
better,
now.
go check out the Player 2 podcast from ages ago where we discussed Journey.
Oh, the Video Games Club from way back in the
Video
day. We
Games
did one
Club.
dedicated to Journey, yes. It's buried somewhere in the Player 2 YouTube channel. It's been a while since we've done a Video Games Club.
Between-
Yeah,
It's in with all the other 1,300 videos that Player 2 has on their channel.
yeah. So go look that one up, because, yeah, Damo
Go
talking more
dig it
detail. It is an incredible game. Matto, you're number 5.
Is Borderlands 2.
Ah, nice.
It's a real tough one from 1 to 5
Damo,
there, but
did you still have it on your list? Was it still to come, or was
Yeah, it
Borderlands
was
2
Mass
not on your
Effect.
list?
Oh, Mass Effect 2. Is that what we're talking
Oh,
about?
is that what it was?
Borderlands 2.
Sorry, I
I
thought
was me.
I thought you gave us that for Borderlands as well. Okay, so
Yeah,
talk us through Borderlands 2 and your love of it.
I know you like to say the mechanics of Borderlands 3 is better, but I reckon the villain, Handsome Jack,
Oh yeah,
just
No
shits
doubt.
all over everyone, and saw that massive improvement from 1 as well. Which you see, like everything that wasn't great about 1, they just pretty much improved it. And the best
every
thing
way.
was, and the pop culture references in 2 are just ridiculous.
yeah.
Ninja Turtles, Top Gun,
Turtles, Top Gun.
Double
Kenny,
rainbow
Loggins, yeah,
across the sky.
because there was a guy called Loggins, and he was upset because he couldn't play volleyball with the other guys, which was great. Oh, there was the other things too. They were the only 2, because I was just laughing because they were coming out of their little cabin things with no shirts on and shooting you. I thought, oh, this is great, because it's just
they nailed it.
the old Top Gun reference. It was, I couldn't help but laugh, and the whole Ninja Turtle thing as well. You go into the sewers.
Yeah. Everything about Borderlands 2 is class. I love it.
Class. And just, yeah, that's all I can say about it. It's just, oh, and Tiny Tina, just like, yeah, other sidekick characters like Hammerlock.
Yeah. I don't
Not so
like
much Hammerlock. Oh, Hammerlock. What? Tina.
Tina's awesome.
What was the other one? There was one more, wasn't there? Not Claptrap. It's funny for a character
Talk.
that's Talk. Oh, Talk. That bastard. You betrayed me.
And like you mentioned, obviously Handsome Jack and how good a villain he was. It shows how good a villain he was because he's an important part of obviously the pre-sequel. He features in
3 a little bit.
Tales from the Borderlands.
Tales of
Yeah,
Borderlands,
he's kind
yeah.
of referenced in 3, and there's the DLC where you go to his old vault, which I still haven't played yet.
Oh, it's Borderlands 3, yeah. I haven't got to
So,
that yet.
They cannot let go of Handsome Jack, and it's because he was so goddamn good. So no, I'm with you. I mean, obviously I had it slightly lower on my list, but Borderlands 2 is the shit, and it's the best in the franchise. Most enjoyable in the franchise, if nothing else. Number 5 for me is Horizon Zero Dawn. We've already had what?
Oh, Damo's
One.
got it.
Oh, you got it on your list and higher. Sweet. I won't steal too much of your thunder then. Aloy is a fantastic character. The
Yeah, I
story
agree.
around that game in terms of like the development, the former Killzone developers. Killzone was kind of a so-so first-person shooter, and then they just smashed it with what they did in Horizon Zero Dawn. Complete pivot for the studio. Sony had made it clear prior to release that they were already planning on making this thing into a big franchise.
Yes.
And that was before the first game, so I instantly had a bit of a feeling about it beforehand, as I think a lot of people did. Mechanical dinosaurs are awesome. / other creatures. They're not all just
Oh, there's some
dinosaurish.
bastards
Crocodile-looking
of animals.
ones and,
Crocodile looking one. Then there's that big behemoth. That's a.
The
Oh,
Thunderjaw is terrifying.
don't talk.
But then, going on the tall necks, for example, the giant
yeah,
giraffe
tall necks
looking
is
ones,
good.
like it's just everything about Horizon is just amazing. And I am adamant that it's going to get the sequel this year. They
Yeah,
have
so
got
also that too.
all the pieces coming together for the PS5 launch.
There's one thing I regret about that game is not throwing the rock at that damn kid at the start. It's my biggest regret of that
You
game.
can change it, and you can record a play 2 plays of it, and just watch yourself watch yourself react
That's
as
the
you
whole
pelt
video.
around.
That's it. Like I'll get to that
Just
point,
on
finish it, done. That's it. I'm done.
That's- Let's clip that
Wrap
out.
it
Now
up.
let's rewatch it and just loop it and loop it and loop it.
I'll do it to Queens like We Will Rock You as I do.
Oh,
Yeah, so Damo, I'll let you talk more about that one later anyway, whenever it pops up on your list. So we are up to number 4. What is your 4th favourite game of the last decade?
Who?
You.
Demo.
Oh, that's me. Oh,
Or
Fire
14.
Emblem.
Well, it's
Which
back.
one?
All of them. I
Awakening?
couldn't decide.
The combo.
Fire
Three
Emblem
Houses.
Awakening. Awakening did it. Three Houses gets an honourable mention, obviously, but yeah,
Oh, it doesn't even
Awakening
make
was
the
the
list. Criminal.
first game the first Fire Emblem game I played, and it was phenomenal. And the storyline and the graphics and the combat and everything about it was so goddamn good. And it made me so happy to play that game. Like I was in this weird zone of I didn't know what I wanted to play. Like what can I play? You know, I've got a DS. There's nothing great on it at the moment. I've
What are
played
you
all
talking
the
about?
cool
Luigi's
stuff.
Mansion 2 came out that year. Don't you dare speak ill of the games on the...
And-
Yeah, it's alright. It came out afterwards.
Yeah, shit, look up, man. And you know, it was all this weird time, and someone was like, "Have you tried Fire Emblem?" And I'm like, "Nah." Oh, do I want to play it? And I played. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is alright." And then, oh, this is really good.
The most
this is
anticlimactic reaction ever.
really-
It's alright.
This is really good. And then it became an addiction. And if you need help with your Fire Emblem addiction, I'm not the person to contact because I'll just tell you to keep playing.
You're an enabler.
I am
Just
an enabler
play
to this
another
game.
Fire Emblem game to get your mind off that
Exactly.
other Fire Emblem
That's-
game.
That's how
Go
it
play
should be.
Heroes on your phone. I swear the microtransactions won't fuck up your life.
It's really good. I loved it. I really do love that game, and I think
Awakening's
it's
amazing.
tough. It's tough putting it at number 4 because there's so many games that we talk about today, and you know, again, if you haven't played it and you've got a DS lying around, like it still goes for a fair bit of money because it is just that that good.
It's that good.
So much fun. Is there a good reason why Prom and Lucina and other Fire Emblem
everyone
clones
keep
exist
popping up in
in
Smash.
Smash because they are clearly the most superior characters, and everybody see this is the creators are time travelers, and they've gone forward in time, made Awakening, went back in time so they could build up to these characters. Like Martha's just a clone of Crom, really. I'm putting it out there.
Jesus. Alright, Matto, you're number 4.
Red Dead 1
Oh,
is my number 4.
Red Dead.
expand on what I've already provided you, so go for it.
Just try to think what did the add-on like you said, the ending is great. There's
sad.
nothing to say. It's just it's sad but good. You just go, that is the way I want to go out as an outlaw cowboy, just like that.
Surprised in my home and shot up to shit. And
And
sorry,
you got-
guys, but spoilers, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, can't. Should have
Had
played
time.
it by now. And then the zombie one came out. That was okay,
Oh,
but
Undead Nightmare, yeah, right.
yeah, but I'm not gonna get onto that. But it's just I think everything about it was just good. Like the little mysteries you have to do. It doesn't force you to do it. You just occasionally find it. It doesn't make you have to find it. It's just there. You can go just check it out. You don't have to do it. I think the jewels, the whole Deadeye, just the whole Deadeye thing and the bounties is just. I reckon I spend hours in that game just doing nothing. It's like the same as like you say with Skyrim. There is the main story, but you got all this other stuff that you can just do, and you just pass the time by and just not care.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, sorry,
What's
man.
your
I just
number
wanted to see
4?
what you're doing on your phone.
Who? Me.
Yeah, just having a.
Oh, you're peeking over. Very,
have a
very
bit of
clever.
a- have a bit of a gaze.
Magic of the internet. I follow you. Player 2 business. So my number 4, and I think my top 4 are fairly well known / documented. I think it probably
Oh,
fairly predictable. No. 2 of the 4 are PlayStation exclusives.
Oh,
One of them is an Xbox exclusive, and that is the number 4,
What?
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, that's like, I mean, it's stunning. It plays a treat.
Wait,
Like-
isn't that available on Steam?
it's on
Well, sorry.
Switch.
Of the time, it was an exclusive. Now it's on the Switch
I-
as well. Yeah. For
Okay,
many,
no, sorry,
many
I
years.
just didn't know if
No, you're right. Yeah, sorry.
I'm like,
console exclusive until the Switch came along.
oh.
Yes, you can play Ori on the Switch.
No, I just meant
you just got very bright. So yeah, like gameplay, it's a treat. It looks stunning. Still one of the best looking games I've ever seen. I can't sing the praises high enough about the game. Like I'm not even like, I like Metroidvanias, and you mentioned Hollow Knight before. That's another one I like, and there's a few that popped up over the last few years, but none have grabbed me like Ori did. It's just a treat, and I cannot wait to get to March and play Will of the Wisps. I remember when they even like revealed the debut trailer for Will of the Wisps, and like Ori kind of tugged on the heartstrings. The first one tugged on the heartstrings a little bit. It's a very sad sort of story from almost moment one.
From the start, yeah.
Yeah, and the very first trailer there, and it's just more setting a tone piece rather than anything else. But you see little owl kind of getting stuck in the wind and being thrown about left, right, and center, and he lands down, and it's kind of a little bit dark, and it's a little bit hard to tell what he's looking at, but he's looking at something, and then things start to light up, and Ori walks in. Like, that's the first time you see him. At that point, like, they debuted it live at the Xbox stage, and as soon as I heard the name of the composer to sit down and play the keyboard, I'm like, oh, okay, I know exactly what this is going to be. So I was, buzzing straight away. But Ori walks in, and just the music gets really mellow and sad, and I'm probably going to bawl my eyes out playing this game, I'm sure. So that's how powerful the first game was, and how amazing the second trailer, the debut trailer for the sequel was. So that franchise just has a way with me, and will continue to do so, I'm sure. Ori and the Blind Forest is my number 4. Damo, number 3.
Ooh, see, I was just about to change it. No, I wasn't, because it's Thomas Was Alone. And again, another indie game made it up here. And I didn't mean for that to happen. I know I love my indies and things like that, but to be emotional about a square
or a rectangle.
Angle. Fuck Ebenezer.
Come on, it's basic measurement.
Excuse me, I was going to continue with the other shapes that are there. But no, let's jump in. Let's jump in on Damo's time, huh? Or an oblong. Or a rectangle.
No, there was nothing round about it at all.
Oblong. Oblong, mate. Not rounded edge. What? Oblong, that's an oval. An oblong's another word for a rectangle, you bellend. God, math teacher my arm. Anyway,
go on.
That game has like a very a beautiful just story, and the narration is on point with David Attenborough and Morgan Freeman levels of beauty, and then the references that get made, like when it's will Thomas ever meet an Autobot or Nathan Fillion? We don't know. We never will know, and that breaks my heart. It breaks my heart.
Because Mike Bithell's now too busy making John Wick games.
John Wick?
Serious. John Wick Hex came out at the end of last year. He made that.
It's a wonderful, brilliant game, and I think that you haven't checked it out. It's probably cheap on every platform now, apart from Nintendo, because Nintendo are like, the guys probably like, look, man, I'm done. Like, you want to play that game, there's plenty of outlets to go. But if it does come out on the Switch, you can guarantee that I will buy it again the third time.
It probably only costs you $4 or $5.
Oh, on the Nintendo store, man, you're talking like 28,
50. Yeah, good point.
$30, 40 probably. It's quick, it's simple, it's beautiful. On to you, Matto.
Number 3.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, right, go for it.
When it first came out, I was a little bit worried I was going to go down that San Andreas road again. But no, we had not 1, not 2, but 3 characters. And I thought, okay. But then when you look at it, if you went Franklin as the main character, it'd be San Andreas. If you went Michael, it'd be the same boring white guy in every game. And if you went Trevor, it would just be a psychotic game. Psychotic. But if you put all 3
trip there.
And if you put all 3 together, it works well. it works really well.
They bounce off each other really well.
Bounce off really well. The whole backstory of Trevor and Michael finding out that he's not dead.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh no, sorry. There's like a bit bright, like.
No, you're right. No, it's, you do you. If anything, it's just going to reflect off your head.
And yeah, when
that's my aura, baby.
That whole massive world as well of just random stuff you come across, just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like finding some. Oh yeah, actually with Trevor, yeah, it was like I did it once. There was some person who was running away from a wedding or something, and Trevor's part of a cult or something. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna take her up there, and I never saw her again. I got money for it. There was the upside to it. But the only downside to that game, and it really pissed me off, was the whole heist thing. Because they really talked that up and there was not that many of them.
Not enough of them, no.
Not enough. But then they brought into the old online stuff, but still. But I had a lot of fun with that. Trying to get gold stars and all the other weird stuff.
It's pretty rough. It's pretty hard.
And just going around as Trevor and just abusing people for no reason. Or just when you switch to him, he's just doing some weird stuff. Where he wakes up on an island and there's just all dead people around. Oh, they're all bikies, that's right.
Yeah, when you flash back over to Trevor and you never know what you're going to get. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, there was one bit. I don't know if you've played the DLC for 4?
Nah.
Okay, don't worry about that.
And the Ballad of Gay Tony, I know them.
Yeah, I'm not going to say because you won't understand it. But there is just one small funny part about it. I just laughed when I saw it, but I'm not going to say because
fair enough.
It'll make no sense to anyone or in this chat.
Yeah, amongst the three of us.
Yeah.
So number 3 for me came out in 2018. It is God of War or God of Boy Simulator 2018.
Boy.
I want to play that game again now that I'm a dad, to try and appreciate that in a different through a different lens, because I speak to Ryan Betson, good friend of ours from the Pop Culturists, and he said that it just affected him on a whole other level because of he's a young dad and all that sort of business and
so you don't go
sort of stuff
son,
you were talking about for the last of us. Yeah, that way I can. Boy, come over
where's that ice cream? Where's that ice cream, boy?
Yeah, let's not talk about ice creams at the moment. Just follow me on Twitter and you know exactly what I'm talking about, listeners.
What's this? I'm jumping on Twitter right now.
It's alright. Just we kind of call the PlayStation Move controllers ice creams, and no one takes a liking to him because he just likes the end of the ice cream, and now he's hitting the PlayStation Move controller, and I can't play VR because of it. It's a pain in the ass. It's been a week and I can't find it. One of them. The other one's right here. But I can't find the other one.
Play one-handed.
As if the
can't
gods...
play super hot with one hand.
As if the gods listened to my request.
So
I opened Twitter to find Little Noah being...
right.
absolute king.
So yeah, God of War. It's huge change for the franchise. I don't necessarily care that it's a massive change in direction. It is one that's really notable, but it's not what makes it top 3 for me, because I loved everything up to that point. Like Ascension was a little bit of a blip on the radar, but it wasn't a bad game. God of War 3 is incredible.
It's a prequel. Prequels don't.
They just never quite hit the same way.
They just don't hit it.
Yeah, but it didn't make it a bad game. It's just it doesn't impact because you already know where it's all going.
Same as Red Dead 2. It's the same thing. You already know what's going to happen. It's just
so it's kind of
in it, but you already know what the end result's going to be.
Yeah, and it's not often in any sort of medium that you actually see the story really hit the mark when they're telling some sort of prequel or between stories where you already know what the final outcome is. Star Wars Rogue One is one of the few exceptions where they nailed it in every regard.
Oh, really?
That in my opinion.
You already know the answer. Going to get the Death Star blueprints or not.
You know what's going to happen, but the story is still incredible.
Oh yeah.
And then that Darth Vader bit at the end. Oh, but anyway, Darth Vader flings his lightsaber around just as well as Kratos throws his axe, the Leviathan axe in God of War. It kind of fits just the modern. I mean, look, it's very PlayStation in the modern day. Fit that over-the-shoulder perspective that we see in The Last of Us and Horizon, God of War, and Uncharted. It's people rightly, I think, criticize because all their games are very similar. But when they're making games of this sort of caliber, shut up and enjoy it. The the single shot camera is incredible. Like just one take. There's no cuts, no any of that sort of business. It's just, it's an amazing experience. The scale of God of War is still there. Like it's, although you expect to see giant creatures or gods like in the previous games where you got a giant leviathan, a giant snake that's enormous, the world serpent.
Snake eyes.
Everything about God of War is incredible, and it should absolutely be played. And I think I'll replay it with this whole dad business now behind me. Damo, number 3 for you.
Dad of War.
Dad of War.
Three.
Yeah, maybe
What,
the second time I played.
number 2.
Number 2, my lord.
God of War was number 3.
2.
Yeah. God of War was number 3, so I'm on to my second.
Oh, sorry, that was my number 3. Sorry, you're on
Number
2.
2.
Sorry, I lost track of our order for a second. Yeah, thank you.
So there's very few games that have ever made me go, I'm going to buy every piece of DLC, even the DLC that I don't need. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what Mass Effect 2 did to
Oh, yeah,
me.
right. I forgot that it was still to come.
And that game,
Is that meant to be that?
fantastic.
I'm the same.
I'm
I'm
both
You're
you
number
just talk.
2.
I'm number 2.
Because I've already done my bit, both of you just talk about it.
We can banter about this then, Matto, if you like. What did Darlene? I love that game. I think that, as you guys were saying, like the suicide mission and getting to that point, incredible. I think like it's like what you were saying about Borderlands. They took what was kind of shit about Mass Effect 1 and then they
just got rid of it.
Yeah, and I was like at the start, I was like, what? Ammunition? That's shit. Oh god, I hate this.
Oh, it's way better than the cooldown thing. Like,
and then 5 seconds later, I was like, oh, this is like awesome. So much better. Like,
and the whole not having to explore an entire planet for no reason. That get it out of it is so much better. And when you go to a spot and it's done,
yep,
they just say you don't have to go back there anymore. Like, cool.
Yeah.
So I don't have to waste my time going back there trying to find nothing. And it's just that's the best part about it. And I think the other thing too, I feel like they nailed every character, like all those recruits you get for the mission.
Yeah.
Because I look at it and go, I don't hate any of them.
No. They did the character work in that game is so goddamn good. Like, even
even
people
though
like
Jack is really obnoxious in a lot of ways, there's still like this endearing aspect to her.
Yeah.
To use that as an example, like you're talking about the characters.
But even if you play Shepard as a dick, like I did that once. I played the full playthrough as a renegade. Like, even his interactions there are still fantastic. So, it's not over the top cheesy dumb shit. It's just, really goddamn good. I can't praise this game enough. Like, I even brought I think it was like a DLC that was branching the story of 1 to 2, so you didn't have to play 1. I brought that even though I had 1. Like, I was just like,
nice.
Sure, whatever, I'll buy it all. Back in the day where you had to buy, like, you couldn't just buy the DLC directly too. This is on Xbox 360, so I had to buy points that were terrible. And I still had like 500 left over after I bought all the DLC. I was like, oh fuck, whatever. Yeah, I guess
I'll buy skins for my avatar.
I ended up doing that, yes. But no, I think Mass Effect 2. I really just hope the Mass Effect they just either remaster them or bring them out again just to have a full playthrough on the Switch.
Oh, it'll happen.
But
it depends what EA wants to do.
EA have come around on remasters. They've
finally realised it's money.
3's up there too, like an honorable mention for 3. It's an honorable mention for me too.
Yeah, same here.
Brilliant game. The soundtracks in them too. Oh, everything.
And how good is it? I'm just trying to. No, I was talking about with 3. I was just trying to agitate anyone who doesn't like the ending. It's pretty good. I get that there's flaws with it, but it's pretty good. But I'm just going to really piss you off. It's incredible.
It is, but I think it's just more that fact that no matter what your choices are, it just feels like it's the same thing, no matter what you do. Hook, line, sinker, bang.
Got it.
But I know what you mean, but I try not to think of that. I don't look at that ending and go, this ruined the whole franchise. I don't see it like that because that whole
Fair
story between the three is great. That build up to every game is great. And all the sad things in 3 are very sad.
Yes.
When you see things like
the leaving Earth sequence at the beginning of 3, like, you know, and the music that comes along.
Hey, back off with 3. We're talking 2.
I know.
Oh, yeah, sorry. But this is all parts that came from 2 into 3.
I mean, what like that early stage of 3 really highlights how incredibly powerful everything in 2 was.
Yeah, no, don't
Nice
damn it.
It's also that part in 2 with all your survivors that survive. I say all your recruits that survive, and then you see him in that next game. You go, oh hey,
Oh, that's you.
oh
You're
yeah,
there.
good to see you again. Like just out of nowhere, like oh what the hell? I thought you were done in 2. And no, you had to make an appearance in 3, and I was so happy.
I love it. I think it's a really good really good game. I know, yeah, I'm stoked that somebody lent me 1 to begin with, and that started that fantastic journey. Because, and then, you know, umming and ahhing about 2, watching it get played, but then picking it up and loving it instantly is just speaks absolute volumes to how great that game is. Like,
I like that part where you get to pick to be a good or a bad guy. Like just the choices, you get that little trigger to say, anything that was renegade, I went for it. I think there was one where there was like a tank underneath, where there was like the Krogers like telling you, "Oh, surrender," and that. And it's just this tank underneath. They're like, "Can I please shoot that?" The option came up, like, "Yep, done." Bang.
So for me, speaking about big RPGs, number 2 for me is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Because, man, CD Projekt kick this one out of the park. Like or hit this one out of the park, kick goals. I don't know, I'm mixing up my metaphors. But I've enjoyed my time with very few RPGs more than I have The Witcher 3. And that's not a tell for my number 1, because based on some of the stuff we said before, you can probably work out what my number 1 is. It's just that Final Fantasy 9 is a better game.
Wrong decade.
But it doesn't fit into this decade. So no RPG from this decade is better than The Witcher 3. That world is enormous, and I know for some that can be a little bit too much, but for me, and just seeing side quests popping up left, right, and centre, and they weren't just like phoned in fetch quests, they were really meaningful quests, and the stories was in some cases almost more impressive than the main campaign story, and all the, you know, CD Projekt, you're incredible, and it sets a very high bar, and it is one that, you know, I look ahead to the release of Cyberpunk, and I wonder, is that bar set too high now that they can't necessarily exceed it, and that people are just going to get disappointed, even if it's still a really solid game? It's, you know, it's scary for that game, but as far as The Witcher 3 is concerned, it's just a masterclass in every sense. The storytelling, the gameplay, even visually, like, it's still one of the most striking games out there, and it's a 5-year-old game this year. And the DLC, holy shit, Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone, the 2 DLC packs, they are as big and as good as some full games, and they're just DLC to The Witcher 3. Like, holy shit. Anyway, that's my fandom about that game out of the way. Damo, what is your favourite game of this decade?
The Witcher 3.
Oh, bullshit, you only just started playing it.
No. Yeah, no, you forgot.
Let's record this thing about 6 months from now, and maybe
said something was high, didn't I, Paul? I gave you the fingers of Daniel Bryan. Horizon Zero Dawn would be my number 1 game for this entire last 10 years, are spinning around a sun, apparently. It was incredible. My mate's just playing it now, and like, just him talking about it, and just me now talking about it as well. It's like a coke addiction or something, some kind of addiction where you kind of get the itch, and you're like, oh, I really want to itch that. It's fantastic. I didn't expect the storyline to be what it was, and the combat system being like, oh yeah, you want to be a real tough guy? You're a human against
robots.
Giant machines,
and you will get your ass kicked if you're not smart.
hurt all the time. And it's like, think, here's some tools to help you, but don't, think it's like, look at that giant bird in the sky. I'll take him down. Holy shit, I was wrong.
Down with the bow and arrow.
Strategize.
It's like, and it's like, I'll just run away from it. And it's like,
it's chasing after you.
And it's like, I'm gonna deploy a flare. It's still chasing after you, man. It's more terrifying. The Jaws tagline: just when you thought it was safe to go in the water, yeah. Well, just when you think it's safe to leave your giant
crocodile
town, like Jesus Christ, like the broadheads, chargers, grazers, rock breakers, like everything that represented the different kinds of animals were, picked up perfectly. The Dementor, Poseidon, Ether, Heifer, I can't remember. Hepatitis or whatever his name is. But, and it's just cool that there are the nice, peaceful ones out there too. And, gathering materials and just, not at the start, fast travel was a pain in the ass because you had to craft your fast travelers.
You had to
so
find
you didn't do it because you were like, and these resources, like I've ran out of bows and so I've ran out of arrows. Like, what am I going to do? And there's just all these little things that you're so weary about them before you know it. And then there's what are they? What I'm looking for them. I'm looking for them.
And the one thing I kept forgetting about that game is that there's no auto regenerated health. You have to press.
Oh yeah.
You have to press like up or something. The amount of times I died because I forgot to just press the up health.
Use the thing to boost your health again. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
I forgot
you
a lot.
get so comfortable based on other games, and then Horizon stops holding your hand.
It's like, we don't do that.
Stalkers. That's the enemy.
Oh, those ones.
I
hate them.
They're the ones that go invisible?
Yeah, it's like, hey, you guys and it's like crazy when you're like sitting there, you've seen it walk past you.
And you shoot off the little sensor.
And you're like huffing and puffing. And it's like, hey, remember the Predator? What would be more scarier than an alien that could blow you up with a laser? It's like, I don't know. What about a panther? Because that shit will murder you with its lasers and then tear you apart. Yeah, Arnie, tweet me. But anyway, yeah, corrupted machines too. Like, there's all this, just all this cool stuff.
Layers and layers to it.
And if you haven't played it,
was there a cult as well?
Borrowing them. Yeah, the cult of the machine cult. They were Decepticons, I believe they were called. And, they were led by something called Megatron. You might want to check them out. There's a really cool one in there called Soundwave. Still a bit of a dick. But if you haven't played it, go out, play it. It's not number one because, I just love it that much. Again, it was one of the few games that, I finished. I want to play this straight away. I want to do the new game plus. It's in my top 10 games of all time. It's just that goddamn good. What a game to top off my generation.
Well, Damo, just to cycle back to what I was talking about before with my speculation that there's going to be the sequel this year for the PS5, let me spell this out for you. The game is coming to PC very soon, randomly out of nowhere. That's not been officially confirmed, but there's been a million and one sources, and Jason Schreier said it, so it's definitely true. And on top of that, there's a there's a prequel comic, a bridging comic that's coming out this year as well. Early to mid this year as well. There's far too many Horizon-based things coming out early this year that tell me that at the end of this year we're getting some more Aloy action at the end of the year.
Aloy action.
I can't
wait. More Monster Hunter DLC.
Yeah.
Involving.
Oh yeah, not speaking of the DLC,
Aloy.
the Frozen Wilds expansion is pretty amazing as well. Hi, Craig.
Yes, it is.
Craig.
Matto, your number one game of the decade.
Pokemon Go. Nah, it's not. The Witcher 3 is my number one game. Pretty much everything. I think everything you said.
With less
I
arms.
I agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree with everything you said. But because I played The Witcher 2 first, then came to 3. You played 3.
Just straight
but
through.
Not 2. Yeah. And just seeing all the characters come into that third one, you're just like, I missed you. And then there's other guys like, where the hell did you come from? Just all this weird stuff. You're like people that you were enemies with, you're now friends, and this and that. But also that whole story is just crazy. It's
Yeah.
like they're trying to find
layers and
Siri.
layers and layers.
Yeah,
And the
it's just
fry
like
pan.
you're like, oh, the fry pan is a that fry pan is an absolute gem
a
of a
doozy.
mission. It's just one of those games where there's nothing boring about it. Like even the side missions, like they're fun to do. They're just stupid. Some are serious, but others are just stupid. Like you said, the frying pan. Or there's
But
this
they're
whole
like not stupid in like a throwaway way. Like they're
throwaway
still
thing. Yeah,
stupid.
there's like
I got something out of that, and that was fun.
it's like just the frying pan, like super. I don't know. You haven't played The Witcher 2, have you?
No, I still haven't got a chance. I know it was your recommend a friend game for last year, and I still haven't gotten to it.
I know that's alright because there was a stupid mission in there. I won't say what it is if you ever play it. But
It is still on the to-do list.
but also the game of Gwent was
Oh,
also
yeah. How did I not
entertaining
talk
as
about
hell.
Gwent?
That
I
game
spent
is so
more time playing
dumb.
Gwent than
I don't
anything
get
else.
it. Why do you all love that game? I tried to play it. It makes no sense.
it makes
How
a
you
lot
win?
of sense.
How are you supposed to win? Doesn't make any sense.
You
I
buy
have more
eliminating
cards,
all the
and then I have
cards.
no cards.
Yeah,
Fucking make no
you're
sense.
supposed to get rid of the other person's cards, aren't you?
Knock their cards out, and
No, is it
That's it.
points or cards? Points.
Yeah, you're
It's
supposed to
points.
get more points than them.
it's not hard.
Oh, it's not hard? Oh, you come over and you play my goddamn deck, and you tell me it's not hard.
Oh,
Asshole.
maybe
I've
you've got a
got-
shit
I've got
deck.
a-
Someone who plays a lot
I've
of
got a-
Magic, you should know how
I
to
got
play
I got all the shinies.
the shinies. I got all the foils.
I got all the foils, the shinies. I got them all. I got all the rare ones. But I think the only downside to it is the combat, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's
It's not perfect, but you can do it. Like it's not
yeah.
hard, but it's just that game. Like you said, the world, the whole open world, just even like the crafting and stuff. Like you go get books, study the animal or the enemy's beast, whatever, and then you say, right, this one doesn't like this, that one doesn't like that. Don't use this against this beast. You're like, okay. Then you use like oils and that, and it just cuts right through them with ease. He's like, wow, why didn't I do this earlier?
It pays to do your research. Damo in a similar sense to Monster Hunter. Like and I don't mean research as in going online and looking up those.
No,
obviously.
they go.
No.
If you go,
The
go on
in-game stuff.
yeah, if you go to a bookstore, there's a book about a certain like beast, buy it. It will
Read up,
save you.
learn, okay,
read up.
this is weak against this. If you use this sort of
Like this
concoction on your
sword or
then
this
it's
oil,
imbued with this sort of power, then it'll just slice straight through them and it just massacres
or drink
them.
this potion.
Yeah,
Use this bomb, or your little magic hands.
yeah, Igni over and over and over.
I just burned the shit out of him. That's all I did. It's like, right, put you on fire. See you later.
It's a fire demon. I shall burn him.
And for me, number one, the best game of the decade. I did go before, and we never got back to it. The Last of Us.
Joel.
I'm sorry.
Joel.
Was that Fire Emblem Three Houses? Yes.
Yeah,
I
Three
completely
Houses. No,
agree.
Fire Emblem Heroes, the mobile game where I sunk far. Like, I mean, you made a joke
Mario
about Pokemon Go
Go.
before, but holy shit, did I play a lot of Pokemon Go over the decade? But it's definitely not in the top 10. The Last of Us. The storytelling is incredible. The gameplay, like, just tense every single moment. I'm not talking about whether it's good or not because I know like there's the subjectivity to that, but no, like it's tense the whole time. You basically have next to nothing at all times.
Those clickers. Oh,
Yeah, you're just scrounging to get by. Sometimes it's a case of don't try and take them all out, especially the case of the clickers and those sort of things where
or
like,
do the stealthy
just-
way as much as possible because that's. I tried to go in all guns blazing. Doesn't end well. Never ends well. Unless there's certain areas where you have to go all guns blazing. Like there's like one big monster. I remember that you're in a sports stadium. It was a basketball stadium.
yeah.
And then.
And there's the bloater, for example, near the end. You kind of get locked in this room with the giant bloater. That's the one bad bit about that game, as far as I'm concerned. That is not a good encounter, that particular one. But yeah, that's life.
The giraffe.
And yeah, just the giraffe sequence. The when Joel gets injured, and like how you
How we
respond
went
to all
alley?
that. Huh?
There was a part where you went alley, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's
not
immediately
the
after Joel
DLC.
gets injured. Yeah.
And then you stabbing people with a knife. I remember that.
You're playing clicker sound effects. That's
What is that?
Couldn't help it.
He was playing clicker sound effects.
Oh,
It's fucking scaring me. I've got to stop.
Obviously, the ending is really powerful. The beginning, super powerful as well. Again, for the same reason I was talking about with God of War. Like, now that I've got a kid, I kind of want to go back and it's like, well, I'm going to play it anyway before Part 2 comes out because I want to immerse myself back in that world again. But holy shit, Naughty Dog, you're just the best at what you do, and it's the best game of the decade.
The guns are the third person.
Yeah. Oh, and the DLC, like the Left Behind, is amazing as well.
Yeah, I should really get back to playing that one day too.
Well, Left Behind is like 2 hours long.
Oh, maybe I'm already halfway through it.
Because it's just a small DLC. But wait,
did The Last of Us come out on the PlayStation Plus thing?
Yeah,
it did.
Only a couple months ago, it was a PS Plus game. The remastered
a
version was a
remastered.
PS Plus game.
Good, I haven't then.
So, time to replay it, Damo. So,
Yes, after I get through The Witcher.
That's all of our top 10 games in each case. We have kind of casually thrown out there a few honourable mentions. We'll keep these really quick. This has been a very long episode.
Longest ever.
Yeah, by a long shot, I think. At least for the three of us.
I don't think our top 100 went for this long.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And yet this was only 30 games.
Yeah,
But, so any honourable mentions? Just kind of rattle them off nice and quick. For me, I had Skyrim, Uncharted 4, Infamous 2, and Super Mario Galaxy 2. I think maybe the first Nintendo game. Oh no, sorry, Fire Emblem, all 10 of them.
Is that the You Are Mr. Gay?
That's the first one.
That's the second one.
I think it's the first one.
You Really Are, or something like that, is the second one.
But anyway, that's not the real key to Super Mario Galaxy 2. The fact that the stars spelt out a phrase. Sorry, very funny, but definitely not their intent. Yeah, those were kind of my 4. But you can also add Mass Effect 3 in there. We mentioned it before. That's definitely right up there. Now I don't care about the order. Matto, what were your honourable mentions?
My honourable mentions, there's a few are LAWAR, Doom, Super Mario Odyssey, Forza Horizon 4, Arkham City, Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Not so much Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, okay.
There's a bit of a letdown. Hitman Absolution, because it was a big improvement from Blood Money, and Max Payne 3, because nothing I like more than a slow motion bullet scene.
Yeah, bullet.
Someone gets shot.
Damo, what about you? Any honourable mentions?
So we've got.
Oh, I forgot
Gears
Spider-Man.
3.
Oh yeah.
We got Gears 3, Spider-Man, Little Nightmares, Bloodborne, Breath of the Wild, Limbo.
Oh, I was sitting there thinking for a while that we might have gotten through the entire recording without acknowledging Breath of the Wild in any way, shape, or form, because ain't that an overrated Zelda game?
I mean, it did
It's
some
great.
amazing.
It's great.
It did some amazing
one?
stuff.
But it's
So you go around the bloody
you're
village.
playing it right.
I got it yesterday.
It is not the bee's knees that everyone else says it is.
Yeah, I hate how you... Oh, I hit this enemy 3 times. Oh, your sword's broken. Can you just give me a normal sword like every other Zelda game there's been?
Yeah,
Why change it?
it's not fun like that.
There's reports
God
that
of
that's
War.
going to be the case in the new Assassin's Creed Thor Ragnarok, and that worries me.
And Shadow of Mordor got an honorable
Nice.
mention for its enemy system.
Yes, that's
And
a
really
cool,
good, really
cool
great
mechanic.
storyline, but really shit ending. So it's
Yeah.
a bag of dicks.
The thing I hate about Shadow of Mordor, I like the game, but the coolest thing about it is doing is it the branding or whatever it is?
Yeah.
That's at the end of the game.
Yeah, it took too long to give you that power.
Yeah, I was like, you could just give me that at the start or midway through the game, not at the start of the game, but midway through would have been a whole lot better, because then I could just go and casually scroll through and not come up against an orc that's way overpowering me.
Yeah. You can start manipulating the world a bit quicker too. That'd be handy.
Yeah,
So
like in
those
trouble
are
or
our,
something.
those
Yeah,
are
I'm
our top 10 games of the decade, plus a few honourable mentions. Sound off in the comments with some of your favourites, whether that's
I'd like to put out my biggest letdown.
go for it.
Mass Effect Andromeda. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, I could probably agree with you on that.
I'm
Still not a horrific game, but it is
it's like trying to do what Dragon Age did good, but made it worse.
Yeah.
That's pretty much.
Damo,
how
do
I
you have a
put it.
letdown that springs to mind?
Pool party or Adult Swim. Even though you warned me,
Oh yeah, right.
I
Yeah,
didn't take your
that's a steaming pile
vote
of
of
trash.
confidence, and it was not a great
Naughty
game.
Bear.
It was,
No, I don't play Naughty
really
Bear.
That's
really
not this decade, but
upset.
holy shit, Naughty Bear.
Yeah.
So, like I said, sound off in the comments on the YouTube video or visit the website. Let us know what your top 10 games were of the decade. I'd be really
And
keen
if
to see
you-
what all of you think.
And if anyone puts Fortnite, you're dead to me.
Yeah, fuck off. Don't come
Straight
back.
up.
Uh,
That's all our viewers. Go
and
on.
I'm pretty sure one of the people would be Ash, Matt's son. So, sorry, mate, but you're not allowed to visit your dad's website anymore. Well, I like the Damo had frozen and the ools had started before it turned. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down the bottom there. Hit the notification bell that we're alerted to every new video that goes live on the channel. More patched inside of Player 2 Plays, like Game Review, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Visit the website, player2.net.au. Like I said, leave your top 10 games there in the bottom. There's all the written content.
Oh, wait. You can't do that on the website anymore, can you?
I think we haven't enabled in some cases. I don't know. If you can do it, if you can't, go to the YouTube channel and do it there as well.
Go to the YouTubes.
For reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news features, links to the podcast series, so the podcast version of this patched, the Player 2 Pixel Cast, and Dev Diary. We've got some big guests coming to Dev Diary over the next couple of months, so go and check those out. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks. At the lower tiers, you get early access to episodes, higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And then there's Twitter. Damo, you're at
Tacos Talks.
Metal_Phil.
Paul James Games for me. The website's player2au, and that ends the longest episode of all time. Between this and the patchies, you will not be able to get enough of us. Thanks a lot for watching. See ya.